Hello friends, it's Lauren from Rustic Honey, and today we are decorating our farmhouse for Easter, cooking up something yummy, and listening to all the birds chirp out my window. Easter is definitely on its way. I'm so glad you decided to join me here today. We're going to start in the kitchen because I wanted to get a quick dinner in the crock pot. I guess it's not a quick dinner because it's going to cook in the crock pot all day, but it feels like a quick dinner or an easy win for me because it's something that I can set and forget. So this morning, before we get going, I'm going to put this together. The kids are busy in the other room and I've got my lemon water and I'm just ready to chop for a while and chat with you guys about spring coming right up. I feel like Easter is really on its way. I feel like with it falling early this year, it's just snuck up on us completely. I know it has on me, but I thought I really need to get a few Easter decorations out today just to make it feel more like the Easter season. But anyway, in the kitchen, we are starting with a roast. We recently had to clean out one of our freezers. We live on a small farm, so we are very blessed to have meat in the freezer at all times. But we had a freezer go out recently and we had to rearrange and reorganize and buy a new freezer, which led us to find a few hidden pot roasts, which I was really excited about because I thought we were completely out of those. So I found a chuck roast for today. And I really don't follow much of a recipe. I feel like it's slightly different probably every time I put it in the crock pot, but it's one of those easy meals you don't really have to think about. I happen to have onions, celery, and carrots on hand from some soups I've been making this winter on chillier days. If you've been hanging around my channel, you've probably seen some of them here. And I know so many of you have been enjoying the cooking and the recipes, so I thought I would continue to share that in today's video. But in the bottom of this crock pot, I'm just putting in some washed and chopped russet potatoes. Then I'm putting the big chuck roast on top. I haven't even seasoned it yet. Yes, you should probably sear this in a pot to really lock in the juices. But honestly, sometimes I'm just too lazy to do that or to dirty another pot. Sometimes I'll do it in my Instant Pot, but today I just wanted to put it in my crock pot and be done with it. I'm adding onion on top. So I do the potatoes, then add the meat, and then on top of it, I put all of these seasonings in a way. You have your carrots, your celery, and your onions, and then I'll add a few things on top. And I feel like the more it cooks over the meat, it seeps in while it cooks, and then the meat juices kind of get into the potatoes, and it's just like the most delicious thing. Such a comforting meal and full of flavor. For seasonings, right now I'm just adding salt and pepper. I have an all-purpose seasoning on my blog. I'll link below that I often put in this. But I didn't have any today because we were out. I need to make some more. I also put in the Worcestershire sauce. Don't judge the way I say it. And then a little bit of liquid smoke and some garlic on top, just to add a little added flavor. Now, don't judge me on this one, but I did not have any broth, and I love the taste of adding either a beer or a Coke to my roast. And the Coke just adds a little bit of a sweetness to it, and it helps, I swear, to tenderize the meat or something. So some of you aren't going to like that. Use beef broth instead if that is more your style, but I really would recommend trying it once. All right, let's step into the other room here. I like to pull out all of my decorations and put them on my big dining room table so that I can see what I have and start to plan out which pieces I want in which rooms. I have a very small storage space under my basement stairs, so that's why you always see me coming with handfuls at a time up and down the stairs. It's a good little workout. At this point in my pregnancy, a few trips up and down the stairs is all I need to start huffing and puffing. So I actually feel like I lose my breath talking to you on these videos, so excuse that. But anyway, I'm still taking down, this is, as you're watching this, probably a few weeks before this, but I'm finally taking down some of the things I had out from Valentine's Day still. And the curtains here in my kitchen are still the red and the white, and I would like to get some new ones sewn very soon for this area too, just to freshen it up for spring. But I haven't really made the time to do that yet. So hang with me. I'm going to get that done at some point too, but today I thought we would just focus on working first on the open shelving, taking down the little bits of red and adding in more greenery and more florals to really usher in the spring season. I mentioned this in my last video, but I am loving baskets right now. It makes me want to go out and buy a few more, but I actually have a good little collection in my basement. So I pulled all of my baskets out and thought I would do some sort of rearrangement on my open shelving to kind of bring those all together. I have a few different shapes and sizes, but they're all fairly similar. So I'm trying to balance them out on the shelves, and you'll see me move them around in many different ways. Another thing I like to do with such a big area of open shelves is I like to keep similar colors balanced. So some of my whites I try to offset. So I thought the white would pop a little bit more in front of that wicker basket, and then moving another wicker basket down low kind of balances out the look overall. But I do find myself stepping back several times to look at it. Another thing I wanted to share with you is that I buy some really inexpensive things at Dollar General. So I found this little chocolate bunny, and I always look for things to spray paint. I actually thought I might spray paint it and make it look like a concrete bunny, which I still might because they're only $1 a piece, but these are cute little treat containers. But I put it on my shelves when we first got home, and my kids thought it was a real chocolate bunny. So I feel like it's a pretty good little steal for $1. So I threw it on the open shelves, and that dark brown also kind of balanced out with some of the baskets I had. And then I'm just taking some of the sprigs again from around the house and trying to make little bouquets with them. I really liked this aged baby's breath look, but I didn't really like it next to the white faux flowers. So I thought I don't know, you let me know in the comments which one you like better, but I ended up going with the white because I felt like it looked a little bit more spring-like now that it's starting to finally green up outside. We don't need so many of the like dried floral look in our homes. So I decided to stick with the little bouquets of yellow here in the kitchen, and I put one right in the center in that basket, and then I wanted to balance it out a little bit to carry your eye over to that bunny. So I played with this a little bit because I couldn't decide if I liked it on top of the tier or underneath. I played with it so much I started knocking the flowers off, which is typical with me and faux flowers. I get a little bit violent with them. But that is one thing I love about faux flowers. They, put them through the ringer and they will work time after time, and they're just kind of versatile in that way. So I thought that balanced out nicely. So I just wanted to put a few Easter eggs on the other side of here just to bring your eye and kind of create a triangle of color there along the open shelves. Now I love these little faux eggs, and you can find them at Dollar General for $2. I think Walmart carries them. One year I accidentally bought them because I thought they were sidewalk chalk, but they're just little pastel eggs, and I've been able to decorate with them time and time again. I actually let my kids color some of these too, and that's a great tip if you have really young kids. Just buy those little white ones and let them color on them and dye them without having to worry about boiling the eggs or having a big mess on your hands. And I love decorating with the white ones too. I feel like they look really realistic. Now, choosing yellow for the kitchen was perfect timing because my littlest one walked in with a handful of these little lilies from the yard. We're lucky to live on a really old property with plenty of flowers to spare. There's lots of little lilies like this popping up all around outside. So I thought I would add them here beside my coffee cups and my little March calendar and our real fresh eggs. And as you can see, the ones I put up there were real, and they do look pretty much the same as those fake white ones I had on the other side. I also received this little tray as a Christmas present, and I still had not put it next to my kitchen sink, and I wanted to freshen up that area today as well and kind of simplify it a little bit. So I'm washing my other tray that I had there, and I still am trying to figure out where I want to put it next, but it's kind of nice to freshen things up and switch things around as we talked about in our other most recent video. I'll link it here if you missed out on that one. All right, I think it's about time to head to the dining room and make a few changes in there. Now, during these late winter months, I had kind of left our dining room table completely barren, and I really liked that for simplicity's sake, but I'm ready to add some fresh new touches to the space. So I'm grabbing one of those little bark covered vases again today and just adding in the pops of pink in this room. The centerpiece is simple but adorable for Easter with those little bunnies that I DIY'd last year. I'm going to link to my video from last year. I didn't get a chance to DIY much this year, but I loved how those turned out, and I want to show you how I made them. So see the description box or the link above if you want to watch that video next. Now, off to take down a few more things from my mantle that feel a little bit heavy and a little bit more like winter. Those big lanterns needed to come down. And I wanted to add another basket, of course, with some more florals to freshen things up here. Found this cute mirror at Hobby Lobby in the clearance section around Christmas time, and I shared it with you guys. It was just a fun find and perfect timing, but I love sitting it up here and putting a few things in and around it, or in front of it and around it, because I love the way it bounces off the reflection, and it just kind of adds a little bit more depth to the mantle. All right, I'm going to backtrack to our mudroom here, and I'm taking down those magnets we made for Valentine's Day, and I'm going to stick those on my refrigerator where they will live for the rest of the year, and add a little bit of floral to this envelope that I have hanging on the wall. It's just a nice way to freshen up that area. I am really wanting to redo a few things in our mudroom with our growing family. I feel like everything is a little bit tight. We need some more storage, and honestly, even in this room, I don't know that I'll get to this until maybe later this year, but I'm kind of thinking about doing a different shelving situation in here too. Um, Today I'm working just solely on getting this vine to look okay again. I think around Halloween time, my husband accidentally knocked it off and it broke. And it's one of those plants that we've had, I think it's from his grandma. And so he's had it forever, and he's such a good plant person. He can get it to come back to life. But as you saw there, it had a few months of slow growth and it had some dead leaves on it. So it is coming back to life, but I was just trying to be very gentle and let it do its thing here. So while this arrangement wasn't exactly my favorite at the moment, we're just trying to get this plant to come back to life. After a little bit of decluttering and plucking off those dead leaves, it already feels more fresh in here and ready for Easter. If you have some ideas on what I should do in my mudroom later on this year, let me know in the comments down below. I'm always open to ideas. I do have a few things planned for the next month or so. I'm hoping to knock out before this baby comes, so definitely stick around and subscribe to my channel if you're into that sort of thing. I would love to share more of that with you soon. All right, we're going to fast forward time a little bit, and now it is evening. I just wanted to check in on our pot roast and share this with you. It smells so good and everything is cooked. I'm just kind of scraping off all of those yummy bits that were on top and working it in. Look how easily the meat fell off the bones. So I'm removing those pieces and any large pieces of fat, and it's just so tender and ready to eat. So I'm just gonna tear it apart just a little bit to get it down into that broth that we created, and check our potatoes. All of them are pretty large bits, but they are tender and ready to go. So I'm just gonna put this on low until the family is ready to eat. And we're gonna step out to the porch because it is beautiful this evening, and I wanted to get a couple things on the porch, including this little carrot that I also is another DIY project from last year that I will link to the video for. It is made out of solo cups and burlap, so a very inexpensive little DIY. The most expensive part is the little greenery topper that I have here. And you wouldn't have to have something necessarily like this. I think I found this little sprig at Hobby Lobby at one point, but you could do any sort of greenery out the top. I do fill it with rocks to give it a little bit more weight so it doesn't blow around too much while it's on the porch, but I just find it to be a nice little springy touch as you head into our back door. Off of our porch, it is starting to look like spring. We got the garden ready to go. It's all tilled up, or plowed up, I guess. It's not really tilled yet, but it's getting there, and it's a sure sign that spring is right around the corner. If you guys saw that video, we had our chickens in the garden all winter long. We finally got them moved to a new spot, and we are excited to start planting hopefully some onions and potatoes here very soon. Well, I am so glad that you decided to join me today. I hope you found a little bit of inspiration to decorate your home for spring and Easter. I would love to hear from you in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love to share rustic recipes, farmhouse decor, and of course, all of our country living adventures along the way. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you back here again very soon.